This program is sponsored by Dave Stahl.
Power on. Power on.
It's time to take your place on the starting grid and get ready for Racer Radio. Your host, Dave Stahl, about to take you for a white-knuckled lap around the motorsports industry, covering everything from top-notch national drivers and crew chiefs right down to your local kid racers and racetracks. Watch for the apex, because here comes Racer Radio with Dave Stahl.
All right, folks, welcome to Racer. You're supposed to turn that up, Joe. What a rookie. Well, Brittany, my dear, how are you today?
I am well. I'm fresh from Moto Dofo
once
again.
Yes, and how did you do up there? What did you guys do up there?
Another birthday celebration and watch MotoGP.
I knew you watched MotoGP.
I was the only one that drove a car there.
So you must have been the designated driver.
We all came separately. I had a car, and the other three guys came on motorcycles.
Well, of course they did. That must have been your dad, right?
My dad and friends.
Right. So don't tell me anything about MotoGP because I have it taped.
Okay.
And who are your guests?
Well, to my left, we have quite the heavy hitter.
Yep.
I believe I'm the last person on planet Earth to meet him.
Really?
But I've heard his name mentioned several times in the winner's circle.
You know, he could do magic on your dwarf car if you asked him.
Well, I believe it because to my right is one heck of a driver. And I believe, I'm not quite sure if I got permission to call him her crew chief or not. But, I got to tell you, I woke up this morning and the first thing that popped in my head is, I'm so glad I get to sit down and get to know her better.
Yeah.
So please welcome Mark Norris and Sonny Trent.
Hi.
Hi, Sonny. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
How do you put up with this guy?
I don't know.
Full-time job.
Sometimes it's a little difficult, but it's working out.
Full-time job?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
When he comes up to your window, you just go, they're talking in my ear, even if they're not.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Well, Mark, are you going to take this abuse?
I have to.
Yeah, I know.
When you keep taking checkers like she does, maybe you'll accept.
So, Sonny, what do you drive?
So right now I drive a street stock up at Verona.
She doesn't just drive, Dave. We're going to hear her name when Dirt Dude calls in with the results.
Should we save it for Dirt Dude?
Okay.
So, Sonny, how young were you when you got into racing?
So I actually was about 20 or 21 when I finally got into racing.
So you're kind of a late bloomer as well, not as late as Sunshine over here.
Yeah, since I was exactly twice your age,
Yeah.
42. But
So what got you? Did Mark bring you into it, or was it you went to the track and said, I think I could do this?
So, no, it was actually my dad. So he used to do factory stocks out of El Cajon.
Oh, yeah.
So I spent my childhood sneaking into the pits and watching him, and he did try to get me into it when I was young, and I was a little cocky. I thought, oh yeah, I'm gonna be a NASCAR driver right away. So I asked him, how much you gonna pay me? And so that was the end of that conversation.
that was a short conversation.
Yeah, that was a really short conversation. So we waited till I was a little bit older to get in.
Yeah.
Into the
Well, he probably
racing.
didn't want you to wad anything up, because when you think you're going to be a NASCAR driver,
Oh, yeah. I thought I was going to be a big shot.
Oh my God! So did you start in this division?
I started in pure stocks.
Okay.
Yeah, so I did that for about a year, and
It said this is boring.
Well, I rolled a car, and my dad thought it'd be a good idea to put me in a street stock.
Oh, with a little bit more protection.
Whoa.
Out of Verona, you rolled it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, how did you feel once you rolled it? Were you scared to death? Did you say I'm not getting back in?
Yeah,
or did you say,
I've done everything except roll.
Will you quit
how
even
was
saying that?
I'm knocking on wood. It's
Well,
cheap wood, but I'm knocking
hit your
on
forehead or do
Tell
something.
me. Yeah, how was it?
It wasn't actually that bad.
Was it a hard roll or a slow roll?
It was a slow roll.
Okay. So
Yeah, it wasn't a big dramatic.
it was
roll.
like, oh, I'm not gonna like this
It was
type
just
of
like-
Did you
roll.
land
no.
upright, or were you hanging upside down?
I was on the
On
the
your
hood?
lid?
upside down. Yeah.
Oh.
Seatbelt still attached,
Oh,
of
yeah.
course.
Well, let's hope so.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you're looking around going, well, this isn't the way it's supposed to
Yeah.
go.
So I got out and realized everything was okay. So I was like,
Did you roll it back up on its wheels and finish the race?
no, I wish, but
You wadded
that car was done.
You wadded
Oh,
it up
yeah.
that.
It was done. Yeah.
Oh.
So then I started street stock racing, and
Okay.
and I really enjoy the class.
Faster,
Faster,
safer.
safer.
Okay.
You
more
don't have to agree.
more
You don't have
competitors.
to agree with them. You
No.
could say no, Dave.
No,
No, it
no,
was-
I know because she would be in another division if this one didn't fulfill your need.
Yeah. That's
It's kind of like you in a dwarf car. I mean, you could go to any division you wanted
my
to.
heart's with the dwarfs.
I know.
Yeah.
That's my point, and I think that's kind of where your head's
Is your
at.
heart there, or are you thinking of
It's-
something else?
Well, my heart's there right now, but there's always the dream to.
You mean if
move
somebody
up.
hands
Chuck?
you the steering wheel to
Hey.
something else, you might consider
What?
it?
Terrible,
Look
right?
at your smile. What is it? You have something in mind.
You have a dream.
I wouldn't mind driving a modified.
Yeah.
You won't even drive a
Oh,
modified.
not me. I'm yan for her.
I know.
Because of the smile. It's so big. Our listeners can't see it. It's huge.
So,
she
Mark,
means it.
When you seen her on the track, did you see something like a light that this girl knows what she's doing?
Yeah, when did you guys
He
even?
probably felt sorry for me
Oh,
When did you start working together?
a couple years ago.
we have to have him on radio more. I mean,
Because he
he's
talks so
extremely
much.
talkative.
Yeah. Well, we haven't really given him a chance.
Well, I know the girls are going to walk right over me the minute I start
Just
talking, so I'm
open
not
it
going to
up.
say a
He'll
word.
chat.
Yeah.
Don't you worry.
So,
No,
where did you meet her?
Well, I met her at the racetrack.
Okay.
How long
her,
ago?
her dad raced at Cajon,
Right.
and then I said, "Who's the girl?" Well, that's JR's daughter. Really?
What's she doing here?
No.
Oh,
She
okay.
had a lot of skill. As a matter of fact, she's already won a championship long before I started working on her
I
car.
believe that.
But
I've seen her drive.
as the cars progressed
Uh-huh.
and got faster and faster, it got harder and harder to be competitive. And
Right.
By the way, the pure stocks are extremely competitive too.
Oh, yes.
But
yes.
you have a tendency to want to do what you want to do, a speed that you're comfortable with, or in my case, I like going really fast.
Yeah.
So I just, if it didn't give me that thrill,
What's the point?
what's the point?
And
So-
I'm not going to be
Too
last.
much work
Right.
and too much money.
No,
if you
I
don't
can
get
tell
the
you
thrill.
about this guy. Hated being last, or even anywhere. In fact, he was very rarely
Second is last. Is second last to you?
Is second,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah, pretty.
Well, that's the problem. You start to get better and better and better. And first, you want to make the main event. This is
Yeah.
that Cone Speedway, and then you
Right.
move on. You go, okay, I'm in the main event. All right, now if I could just get a top 10.
Uh-huh.
Well, then as you progress year after year, and you keep getting faster and faster, then it's top 3. Then it's I got to win.
I was
then-
going to 5. I was going to give you 5, but you
Yeah.
jumped all
No,
the way to
then I
3.
thought-
All the way to
3
3.
win.
So eventually, that's to the point where when you finish second,
Yeah.
you have people coming into the pits after the race and going,
Are you okay?
"What happened?"
Yeah. Right.
I'm like, what happened? These guys aren't chopped liver here. These guys are fast.
Yeah. Get in the car. You go out
Yeah.
there and see what
Well,
you can do.
Anyway, I knew Sonny had skill, and what put the whole thing together was I really like JR, her
Yeah.
dad.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking at a situation where he's having a hard time doing it and getting the car together for her, and then all the stuff that necessitates getting to the
Yeah,
racetrack.
a lot.
So I just one day I think they brought the car over, and I looked at it and I said, I'm keeping it.
Yeah.
And so I started. We rebuilt the entire car and put a new body on it and did a chassis and cut all the bars out, put all new bars in, stuff like that. All just because the love of the sport and the love of Sonny and JR.
Well, how much knowledge is rattling around in that head of yours? How many years did you race?
I compartmentalize, but yeah, it's there's a ton up there, and I'll actually go to something and go, oh yeah, wait a minute, we did that.
Yeah.
And there's just no replacement. You can read every book you want. You can
Oh,
go to
yeah.
school. You can do everything you want until you have practical experience.
That's right.
You're just not going to get it.
Yeah.
Eventually, we did get it. I mean, when I first started, was put the smallest tire on the left front, and that was in 1970. So we moved on from there.
Sure.
But one of the wonderful things was the fact that when I first started racing, an entire car came from the wrecking yard,
Oh, yeah.
engine, everything,
Oh, yeah.
and now there's nothing.
Nothing. No.
Nothing. So
Now, how did you? I mean, because you know as well as I do, the most important part of a crew chief and a driver is communication.
absolutely, and even more so than you think.
Oh
Because
no! Without that, I mean, if you want to go back to Days of Thunder,
Oh, my goodness.
I don't even know what you're talking about when you're talking about. Those days
that
are
movie's
not
hard to watch.
Yeah, I know. I just wanted to throw
Hilarious.
that out there because I do that, make the hair stand up
Oh,
on the
my
back of your
goodness.
neck.
But what really was wonderful about it, Dave, is the fact that she very skilled driver.
Right.
Doesn't listen all the time, but she's a very skilled
Oh, my
driver.
goodness.
So with a combination of I can step in and make this better, and the fact that she will improve exponentially because she has all the skills.
Yeah.
She's aggressive,
Right.
but she doesn't make dumb mistakes.
She's only aggressive when she needs to be
Yeah,
aggressive.
exactly. And
Yeah.
as a matter of fact, we were talking last night, and I said the thing that makes Sonny one of the better choices of a driver is once she gets in a groove, the car's been tailored to run a specific way. It'll run anywhere on the racetrack.
Right.
But the car is designed, and now Sonny is designed to work with the car on a specific racing track surface.
Right.
On the track in a specific place.
Right.
Not that the car won't go anywhere else.
Right.
But this is the plan that we came up with. And it just clicked.
You found the combination as well.
Found the combination.
Have you
The
bonded
combination
with
was
it?
not only the car,
yeah.
but it was the driver.
Were you surprised? Because I know you drove before you got him on the team, right?
Yeah.
And now you have him on the team, and the difference is what, night and day?
It is. Like he was saying, I mean, we had some big problems just, trying to get the car set up. And then also with me as a driver, I went from a leaf spring to a metric car, and my driving style was completely different. So trying to get used to it and actually listening to what he had to say to me was one of the biggest obstacles for me. Is I was kind of hard-headed. I kept trying to drive the same way that I was driving, and it just wasn't working out. And it was like a light.
Kind of back to that Days of Thunder thing, You go take 50 laps, and let's look at the tires, and then I'll tell you how to drive, and then look at my tire. Am I right? Am I right?
Exactly.
Have you ever seen the movie Days of Thunder?
Oh yeah.
Go look.
My dad grew up.
Okay, well go watch it again.
If you do this, you will be successful.
If you
Continue
don't,
that. And like
you
she
won't.
says, now I hear you without even you saying it.
Yeah.
That is so
He's
cool.
going to kill me.
So let's take a quick break. All right, folks, welcome back. You're listening to Racer Radio. So we have a special guest in the house, so I kind of gave Scott Delosio from Paris Auto Speedway the day off so we can talk more to Sunny.
Yeah.
Because I understand she has her little Tootsie Toes and other things besides racing.
Oh, the fishing? Is that
You're
what
you're an angler?
I am an angler. I say that very enthusiastically.
Very passionately.
Yes.
What do you fish?
I do quite a bit of ocean fishing, so I'll go out
Oh.
on multi-day trips, and I have a little 17-foot boat, so I'll do bay fishing and stuff like that too. So I'm pretty into that as well.
You know somebody by the name of Sandy Rose Bowler?
I do.
I tell Sandy I'm going to put a hook in her mouth, tie her hands behind her back, throw her out in the parking lot, and drag her around. Because she insists the fish.
Red states versus blue, urban versus rural. As federal government keeps
What?
growing bigger, we the people are getting angrier when our side doesn't win.
All right, that's twice. That's twice, rookie.
That's
Holy
okay. It gave me
moly,
a
look
chance
at
to
this.
show you a picture of Sunny and her fish.
I don't eat fish, but it looks tasty.
Which one is it?
Yeah.
The one with the tail.
Yeah.
Do you eat fish?
I do.
Well, there you go. That's smart.
I
love
don't
it.
do it raw though. I can't.
No.
No sashimi
So,
for you.
so do you get in competition?
No.
Yeah, what's this one all about? What's this?
Oh.
Nobody,
I
nobody
didn't
can.
think they'd be laughing.
Nobody
I'm sorry,
can see
listeners.
it. We're on radio.
I know that's why they're going to explain or giggle.
Well, so
sorry.
What about fishing? What is it that you enjoy? Just the competition?
Challenge?
Kind of, it's like your own personal competition.
Yeah.
So you're
Between
constantly
you
trying
and
to
the
figure
fish.
out. Yeah. You're constantly trying to figure it out, and once you think you've figured it out, you haven't. So
Yeah.
it's a constant. You're constantly evolving and changing. And
Yeah. And let's face it, fish are not stupid.
no.
Otherwise, they wouldn't be in the ocean. So what else do you do?
Why they
besi-
call it fishing, not catching?
That's
Well, do you like Old Man in the Sea? Have you read the book?
I have not.
You should.
Hey, Hemingway could write a book about that. About
It's a
you.
movie now if you prefer not reading.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to check it out.
So what else
Old
do you
man.
do besides racing, fishing?
Yeah, because neither of those take a lot of time
Yeah.
and energy.
Those are kind of my two.
Those are your-
pretty. Yeah. I'm pretty solid with both of those.
Okay.
I like anything outdoorsy, but
Well,
so those are-
fishing, there's no age limit there. You can do that till you become an old lady.
Right.
Really.
Yeah, and I don't do it competitively. I just
No.
do it because
Oh,
I
no.
enjoy
Okay.
it. But yeah.
Well,
I
it looks
just
by the
enjoy-
size of those fish, you probably could do it competitively.
Yeah, let's see the biceps here.
Oh my
No?
god.
But anyway,
Okay.
so if you know Sandy
They're
Rose
big fish,
Bowler,
listeners.
I do.
now there's a very competitive young lady.
Yeah.
She been driving lately?
I don't think so.
Or she hang her helmet up?
I think she's been doing some more like freshwater bass fishing.
Oh, her and her son.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know. Yeah, her and I used to do military training together, driven to
Oh
dare.
yeah, I did that with her one year.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
did
it
it
was fun.
for 10 years, but she's about as organized as Warm Jello. My God, I love her to death, but geez Louise.
Dishing
let's
out
go
more
back.
compliments.
So let's go back to
Well,
motorsports.
So I'm curious because these hobbies take a lot of time. Do you wrench on the car? Do you have time for that?
I try. I do my best to go
Wait,
up there.
no. The better
I
question is,
try.
do you allow her to wrench on the car?
No, but she drills out rivets really good.
Okay.
goodness.
So you found something she could do.
And tire pressure.
I'm perfect. I'm perfect
Yeah.
with the rivets.
She come in with all clean clothes on and everything and just sit right down
You
on
do
that dirty
not show up
concrete.
to the garage
start-
with clean
And you just chuckle when she walks in all spiffied up and looking like she's going
That's
out
a
on a
smart
date.
move.
Oh,
actually.
absolutely. So I give her all the jobs underneath the car, wipe off the bottom of the car, the transmission, the rear end, the pan. Will you?
Okay, by the way, listeners and Dave, Mark's girlfriend had to wipe grease off of his nose when he showed up here. Just saying.
By the way, you're not supposed to bring her up.
Well, she doesn't. Look, she's giggling over
See,
there.
already
True, though,
she's-
right?
look, she's
Sonny,
under the
back me up there.
table.
True story,
True,
right?
true.
Well,
He had
what's
to
wrong?
look the part. So,
Yeah.
you know.
We're-
I
he came in.
believed you, Mark.
And what's her name?
What's my wife going to say?
I
Oh,
know.
jeez.
And what's her name?
Diane.
So Diane,
She
I
doesn't
know
want
you
to
don't
speak.
want. I know we're not
She
going to.
doesn't want to speak.
Doesn't want to speak, but she sounds to me like you're a handful for this poor woman.
I'm a handful for any poor woman.
Well, yeah. So speaking of handful, I
Yeah.
asked the question in the green room, and
Well,
I
I
was like,
can't
"Don't
res-
tell me."
What?
I said, "Don't tell me."
No,
Don't
I
tell
couldn't
me. Let me
respect
ask him.
somebody that would have me for a boyfriend. So how could I, what am I going to do?
I know. Well, it's probably very expensive
Absolutely.
because she doesn't look cheap. It
I
looks to
think
me like
that's a
that girl. That's a compliment.
compliment?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a true compliment. Come on.
No, I asked in the green room, "Have you ever made Sonny cry?"
Oh, what a terrible thing to
Such
say.
a softie over here.
Did he ever make you cry?
He did. He was, he was hollering and yelling at me. No, I'm just joking. It was a good cry. It was a good cry.
Oh, okay. I'm glad you're
it was,
explaining.
it wasn't a bad cry. There was a period of time where my dad kind of got a little bit sicker, and I got a little sicker, and and the car was falling apart, and that's when he took the project on. And I say that lightheartedly. It was a project to get it
Literally.
from where it was to what it is now, and I hadn't seen the car for a while, and so he's like, come on up to the shop and come and take a look at it, and they really did bring that thing back to
They
life,
changed it.
and I might have shed a tear when I
That's
saw
a
it.
good cry.
Yeah, but see, you got to remember how this whole interview
Oh.
started at 3:00.
I already forgot. It was so long ago.
She's bullheaded.
Oh.
So when you start with bullheaded, then the one pushing the buttons needs to amp it up a little bit, maybe a little too high, made the tears flow. But that's
Oh,
okay.
that's awesome. So how long ago was that? So how long have you had this partnership?
Thursday.
Couple years now, right?
Yeah.
Because from what I've seen, and we only just met at the Cajon Classic. I'm so glad our cars were parked next to each other at the
okay.
car show, and it's like, oh, you're Sonny, you're Brittany, you gotta
yeah.
come in the
Yeah,
studio.
right.
I've only seen great success. How have those last 2 years evolved?
Oh, they've evolved a lot. There was a huge gap of time where it was a love-hate relationship with the car.
It's like, why am I doing
more
this?
of a hate relationship with the car, and I was getting discouraged. It was getting in my head. I thought, is it me? Is it the driver? Is it the car? I didn't know. And now going from the back to the front, I've had a little bit of success, but it's been so long.
A little bit of success.
Yeah, tell him where you started last night.
In the back.
And she
where
ended
did you
up
end up?
In the front.
And how many cars ahead of you?
I think there was about 8 or 9. It wasn't a
8.
huge race last night.
And it was on 20 laps. You did that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how many laps before you got to the front?
It took me about at least half the race.
Oh my gosh, 10 laps. Oh, that's a struggle.
Maybe more than that. More than that. But nonetheless.
But isn't
we
that
made
the
it to
fun
front.
part?
It is. I
mean,
actually
really.
enjoy starting in the back, and every person that I pass, I gain a little bit more confidence. I
Yeah.
actually think I do a lot better in the back than in
Pursuing.
the front. Yeah, because if I start in the front and I get past, then mentally my race is kind of over. I'll start overdriving the car,
Yeah,
and that's taken a lot of time and practice too
Right.
to just kind of be mellow and not overdrive the car. So
Now, in your division, are you allowed to communicate with Mark?
no.
Okay,
I don't
so you
think
don't.
at all.
God.
And
You guys, it's so interesting that they don't allow those divisions to have
none
a,
of them, I think, are
a
allowed.
crew.
it.
I mean, the crew chief or a spot or somebody to be able to
Nope,
communicate
no
with the driver.
spotters, no mirrors.
Which I think, in one way, it wouldn't you say, Mark, that it makes a better driver when they don't have somebody saying go high, go low?
Yeah, well, communications will always make the situation better.
Yeah.
But I mean, if it's equal, it's equal. If nobody has radios, we're fine.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
everybody
No,
has
I get it.
radios, we're
Yeah.
fine. But yeah, it would be better with radios, just for a lot of different things. It's like mirrors. Why? I've never understood not running mirrors.
I don't.
Yeah, what is
because
it? It's
anybody
gonna
ever
break off
explained
or
it?
something?
I used a mirror so I didn't overdrive the car.
You had mirrors at Cajon, didn't you?
I had mirrors at Cajon, but
So
I
I
used
wonder
it so
why-
I could look in the mirror and see if I could slow down some.
Yeah. I wonder if Verona.
You know,
my
Well,
gosh.
there's a lot of truth to
No,
that.
there's time when you don't want to overdrive the car because you've got to keep saving your tires.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So if somebody's right on you,
Yeah,
I mean,
you burn your tires up in the first 5 laps, and it's a 20-lap
Right.
race. Then it's like, geez, now look what I
Right,
Glad
so
did.
you
you
glance in
explained
the
that.
mirror to see how much space you have, how much time you have, stuff like that.
So how many times do you stand on top of the toolbox screaming at her as she's going?
Yeah, are
not
you
anymore.
mellow?
Not
or-
anymore.
But you used to.
I don't. I don't want to blow her skirt up, but she doesn't make mistakes.
Yeah.
And you watch those
Wow.
guys out there, and
Sunny.
they'll run 2 or 3 consecutive laps, and the laps are really, really well.
Right.
But and then they'll get in over their head, or they'll do something. They'll get loose and get up toward the fence, stuff like that. That Sonny don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that makes all the difference in the world. By the end of the race, I mean, she's picked up a 3/4 of a lap to a full lap on cars that every once in a while
Right.
get up there and they lose 2 or 3 or 4 seconds. So
Well, I think female drivers really are better drivers than men. And I'm not because she's here. Men have this testosterone thing where they get into it, then they go over it. Not saying a girl can't do it too, but with the right car and the right setup and the right feel. I mean, Brittany, you
My
done
crew
it.
chief's probably disagreeing with you right now.
No, because when you get don't you agree when you're in the right setup and when everything's just
right.
perfect?
And there's that, kind of
If you
second
wanna
guess
look-
myself or I don't know. There's the emotional side of it.
if you want to look for a particular type of person that's diabolical and is a thinker and thinks ahead and
Right.
doesn't let their temper get the best of them, you're better off with a woman.
Without about
I'm
bingo.
a huge woman supporter.
Yeah, me too.
In that area because they just, like I said, she doesn't make mistakes. And
Yeah.
a lot of times you'll see people go out of their way to make sure a girl can't pass them.
Yeah.
And when the girl does pass them,
No way.
They freak out.
she drives away from
yeah.
them because they go crazy.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
So it's
All right.
I like it when the guys
a driver is a
underestimate
driver.
us.
To me, she's a driver.
Yeah, well, see, and that's the
She's
key.
not a girl. She's not a boy.
No.
She's
She's
a
a
driver.
true driver. That's why they put a helmet on her head. All right, we're going to take a quick break to listen to Racer Radio right here on FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The answer
Got to give her 2.
for each side.
Yeah, 1 for each side.
The grandson from Barstow, I
Yeah.
gave him a sticker, and before I knew it, was already on his hood.
See? But you got to give her 2 stickers.
It's coming.
And I ordered them from Slow Hand Luke. So I don't know when we're ever going to
That
get them.
doesn't sound like a compliment
It's
or
not.
a good commercial.
So we got Mark Norris and Sonny
Sonny
Trent in the house, and they've been here for the whole hour. Hopefully they've had as much fun with us as we've had with them. Sonny has not discussed sponsorship, but it seems to me like the company she works for ought to be on the side of the car, but that's another story. We won't even go there. So if you could look into the crystal ball, how far out before you would like to move up to another division, or is that money-based?
It's all pretty much
Money-based.
money based.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah,
somebody...
the drive is there, no pun
Yeah.
intended, but
Yeah. So if somebody wanted to sponsor you, how would they get a hold of you? What's the easiest and best way? Facebook?
through social media.
Okay. SonnyTrent.com.
Sunny Trent, yeah.
And how many wins did you get this season? Like, how many times would your future sponsor
Be
see
thrilled.
their
So I
logo?
won 3 times this season.
Okay.
And, I mean, you can't guarantee anything, but all I can do is definitely try.
Well, she missed a couple races too. She went fishing.
Just leave those fish
funny.
alone.
But it sounds like, Mark, you believe in her as a driver, 100%.
125.
Well, you wouldn't be doing it. I know Mark. He wouldn't be
Yeah.
wasting his time if there wasn't value.
No, we had that wasting our time talk last night about going racing.
Did you?
Oh, I've
Yeah.
never had that with my crew chief.
Oh.
Yes, I have.
So, but she's fully capable at any speed. I
Right.
don't. I mean, her skills are unlimited. She's fine.
Yeah.
And you're good with the wrench. So it's a good team. Why wouldn't anyone want to sponsor Sonny Trent?
Well, it's you got to get there's more to it than just collecting a check and putting a sticker on the car. You've got to go to their business. You've got to put your car out there. You've got
Well,
to
she had it at the Cajon Classic.
I
Yeah.
get that, but that's how many times has she done that?
She's going to be on KUSI.
She hasn't done it yet. But
Do you
we're
need a
gonna
manager?
But
Right.
you
Sounds
see
like I
what
got one.
but you see what I'm saying? Because if you looked at anybody that does this, it's more of a commitment off the track than on the
Yeah.
track if you want the money to come.
Right.
So let me ask you this: have you ever wanted to go asphalt?
Talk to Mark.
that late model she's eyeing, she's drooling all over.
Yeah.
Yeah, she wants to drive that.
I want to check out other stuff. I like.
Have you ever heard of a guy by the name of Bill McAnally?
No.
Have you heard of Bill
unfortunately.
McAnally?
Yeah, I think so.
I got a pretty good in with Bill McAnally.
You do?
Do you think if Bill McAnally, we could set it up to maybe off season, have her get up there? Maybe. Yeah, I mean, you never know, because McAnally's always looking for talent.
No, you don't. I don't think she'd have a problem hopping in one of those things at all.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Bill McAnally, Napa is a sponsor, so he's always. But the only problem is when you start getting to that level, they expect you to bring your checkbook.
Of course they do. It's called a package.
Yeah.
What kind of package do you
I
come
think she's
with?
cute just the way she is. She
Yeah.
doesn't need to bring a checkbook. But I mean, again, it's exposure. It's getting yourself out there. You almost need to get somebody to videotape what you do, and put together a proposal, like a one sheet on what you could offer. Because it's really what can you offer the person writing the check.
Yeah, I think that's been kind of one of my problems too.
Yeah.
Is actually putting myself out there.
Right.
I am kind of a
You're
more
shy.
reserved person.
You're a little
so-
bit. I get it. No, I've been doing this more years than I care to admit. It's like he's extremely good at what he does wrenching.
Mm-hmm.
I'm real good at what I do when it comes to the promotion, because I'll push you harder than because once you do it, it's like talking in front of a crowd of people. Like if I lined up 300 people for you to speak to, you'd probably panic at first.
Yeah, not so
She'd
great.
say,
Well,
just
like when
put
you
me
did-
behind a wheel. I
when
prefer
you
that.
were doing the things with Sandy Rose Bowler, you were standing in front of 1,500 to 2,000 Marines, and I'm sure that was a little intimidating at first.
Shut down.
But but you know what?
yeah.
You knew more
Yeah.
than they did. So you could have said, I every time I go into turn 3, I fly 5 feet off the ground. They wouldn't know any difference because they've never done it, except maybe a few that are in there. But I like your attitude. I like the fact that you listen. And truly, you could not have picked a better crew chief.
Oh, he picked me.
Well, that might be, but and that's a compliment right in itself. So hands down, I mean, all you got to do is listen to what he says, and it sounds to me like she does. You don't have to tell her more than 6, 7, 8 times.
She hears it in her head already.
Yeah, there was a few things that were more than that, but yeah, for the most part. If you do that again, I'm leaving. If you do that again, I'm
No
leaving.
pressure.
Yeah.
No
Right,
pressure,
yeah.
Sonny.
And you notice he hasn't left.
Oh, he's yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, he growls a lot. Yeah, he growls a lot.
We're still having a good time, though, right? I mean,
Oh, yeah,
we're asking you to
100%.
look to the
Well-
future and what might be next. But right now, in the present, you're having a
I'm
good
having
time.
a blast,
Right.
and if something happens in the future, I'm definitely looking forward to that too.
You're ready.
Well, I like to see her smile, and I like to see the joy in her face when
Yeah.
she gets out of the car after she wins.
Oh,
But
here comes that.
That was-
But
wow.
the real joy is her dad's face.
I bet. Well, when we bring you to KUSI, we'll bring your dad.
That would be great.
In fact, you can bring as many people as you want. You can bring your crew of 37. Oh, you don't have a crew of 37?
Her manager.
2. 2. Brittany, you can come down. How about that? You can come
Yeah,
down.
I got it.
She's my new manager.
Yeah, I need to get the side covered.
We're going to
The
get
big
it.
sponsor.
We're going to see.
Anderson's Plumbing or something.
Yeah.
Isn't that owned by a lady?
Yeah, it sure is. You know what? This might be your missing link. Right there. Because things all happen for a reason. Trust me. It's
I agree.
Nothing's planned.
Well, she's good.
Hey,
She caught my eye.
He did a radio thing, and he didn't even know he did it. He raised his hand, and that usually means you want to talk.
Yeah, what do you want to say?
I actually know. I was scratching the back of my head. But I actually do want to talk because I wanted to thank you. I don't know how many people do this but you're like one of the last bastions. We talk about the people fading away into the sunset, old soldiers and old hot rod owners.
Yeah.
And you're one of the last hopes to keep it alive.
I know, and I work, not bragging, I work real hard at it.
I know that. So I wanted to make sure that whatever anybody else doesn't say, I do say for a huge group of people that we really, really appreciate that you just keep pushing on.
I do.
Thanks, Dave.
And I don't take no for an answer. I mean, do I? She's so cute. How long have you been doing radio? She was going to do it. She said, I could do maybe once or twice. I'll do it a couple times, and that's it.
I don't want to commit.
9 times. She's barely missed a show. Barely has she missed a show.
It's been a year and a half, and I said
too.
I didn't want to commit.
Well, because it to me, and
we have a good time.
I truly appreciate the compliment, and I appreciate you even more so, because you could very easily just retire and go fishing, but you've got so much knowledge, and I mean, if you could go back in time and watch this guy on the track, unbelievable. Out there with the Bornemans and the Tamborellis and, Hagermans. Don't forget the Hagermans.
Don't forget Mikey.
Yeah, you can't forget
Mark Meach.
And Mark Meach. And then who was the gentleman that passed away?
Ron Overman.
Oh, yeah.
The gentleman racer. And
they were so fast. Just the thought that you
fast.
can run with them,
Yeah.
much less beat them.
Yeah, look, I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it. The Ed Hales of the world. I mean, he could drive a Volkswagen out there, and nobody drove the line the way he drove the line. Nobody ever drove the way that
He
guy
made his
drove.
own line.
He made his own line, and you couldn't follow him. All right, that was Racer Radio, Sonny. Thank you very much for coming
Thanks for
in.
having me. I really appreciate
All right,
it.
same to you, Mark, and we will do this again. You're always, always welcome. All right, Gun Sports Radio, right around the corner. Don't touch that dial. FM 96.1 AM 1170.
The answer.